Hello everyone, today we're going to learn daily Tanya for Kaf Dalid Nissan Tafshin Pei Dalid. So yesterday we talked about ways to internalize our fear and our awe of Hashem. We talked about it. We said that one must take an extended time in their day to really think and to really internalize the fact that Hashem, He is everywhere. His gaze is all encompassing and He's always watching. And to really internalize that feeling. And now we're going to continue a little. And I'll just I'll say something else. And then once we internalize it, it'll be much easier to remember and to regain that sort of consciousness throughout the day. And so we'll continue. And moreover, one should remember, right? So just like in an earthly king, right, in a flesh and blood king, right? The fear that one has of a king is not of a mere body, but it's of the fact that he is personally the king, right? And not just his body. Because when he's sleeping, one doesn't fear the king when he's sleeping, because he doesn't see you. But his life, his personhood, it's not something visible in the flesh. But it can only be seen through the eyes of the mind. And how can it be seen through the eyes of the mind? Okay, we know that he's the king. We could see it in our mind's eye. We could see his kingliness in our mind's eye because we see his clothes. We see his sort of outer manifestations of his kingship, and we reason that there's a king here. Okay, that we know that this all these different sort of aspects of kingship, right? His clothes, his demeanor. We can see that there's the life of a king here. There's a king here. And therefore, kacha mamash, in that exact way, yesh lo lira et Hashem. One must fear Hashem. Al yedei riyat einei basar b'shamayim v'aretz v'chol tzevaam. One must fear Hashem by looking around at all of creation and seeing how all of creation is an expression of Hashem's will. Right? Asher ol ensof baruch hu melubash b'hem lechayotam. Right? And moreover, we see that it is Hashem who sustains it, who sustains the world and all of creation and gives it life, which is to say that the life of these things, the things that they do, the places they go, its meaning, their meaning is ultimately God's will. It's to show you that there is a God here. There's a creator. Okay, here we're going to see a footnote, Hagaha. וגם נראה בראיית העין שהם בטלים לאורו יתברך, right? One can clearly see that all of creation is submitted to Hashem. בהשתחוום כל יום כלפי מערב בשקיעתם. Okay, we see that, all the heavens and the revolution is from east to west, right? I mean, we know the Shekhinah is in the west, and so we can see, mamish, that all the stars and the sun and the moon, it's all bowing to Hashem. It's all bowing to the Shekhinah. K'ma'amar Hazal, right? As Chachamim say, al pasuk, about the pasuk, utzva shamayim lecha mishtachavim, right? And the hosts of heaven bow to you. Shashchina b'ma'arav, like we said, that the Shekhinah is in the west. ונמצא הילוכם כל היום כלפי מערב, הוא דרך השתחווה לביטול. And we see that their revolution from east to west is sort of like a bowing motion. והנה גם מי שלא ראה את המלך מעולם, but even so, and so therefore, even someone who hasn't seen the king ever, ואינו מכירו כלל, and wouldn't recognize him if he did, אף על פי כן, כשנכנס לחצר המלך, right? Even so, when he walks into the king's court, ורואה שרים רבים ונכבדים, and he sees many, ministers and very sort of powerful people, משתחווים לאיש אחד, bowing to one man, תיפול עליו אימה ופחד, clearly, certainly, be struck by awe or fear. Okay, now we're going to go back to the text of the Alter Rebbe here. Right, so we talked about that the life of the universe is the life of everything in the world is from God, right? It's God's own life, right? Okay, that is sort of pulsing through the universe, pulsing through every creation, right? Right? So even though this life, this force of life that Hashem gives to the world is sort of hidden in all these sorts of ways and is, you could say, clothed in all these sort of different outer shells. There's no difference in fear of a flesh and blood king, whether he's unclothed, or when he's wearing one garment, or when he's wearing many garments, right? It doesn't matter how many garments the king is wearing, so much as they're pointing to his kingship. It's quite the contrary. It's not something that's going to take our focus away. It's something that's going to increase our focus in our mind's eye on the fact that this is a king we're looking at. So the important thing is the habit that is formed. To constantly make a habit of mind, to always to always look at everything and to see how Hashem is giving it life and how it's sort of the outer garments of the king. So we're going to read that here. Okay, that it should be certain in his mind and heart that everything he sees with his eyes, right, the heavens and the earth and all of their hosts, these are all sort of outer garments of the king Hashem. And through that, and that will allow us to keep our mind's eye focused on their internal life, which is from Hashem. And this is what we call emuna. So emuna is an interesting word. It's translated as faith, which is a good translation, but it also means, it also comes from the same root word as uman, an artist, or le'amen, to train. Right? Shu lashon regilut. Right? Emuna, that it connotes training. Shemargil ha'adam atzmo, that a person trains himself. K'ma'uman ha'ma'amen yadav. Right? Just like an artist trains their hands. And so we're going to end here.